played almost 3 years. After that, I went to third division, coming to second division Mantijet. After that, going to Togo to play some more before joining Heart of Lions in 2006. A coach who gave me, we normally call him Onabon Michon, but I don't know his real name in Medina. He forced me to come and play Field Masters, and I also joined them to play. My first year in Heart of Lions, it was a white man called Vanapoy. I was in Togo before they called me, so I have to leave Togo and come back to Heart of Lions for the white man to see me. So I train with them, do everything with them, and they say they like me. Favorite memory was against Kumasi Asante Kotoko in Kumasi. We beat them by 1-0, and I was the man of the match. Oh, my time I played with Jerry Akamenkun, John Boy, Samuel Sowada, Domikadia. Berekum was there before he left to Kotoko. Ibrahimana, Yusuf, Sadat Bukari, Mohamed Tanko, a lot of them. We were going to play against Kotoko, and my team manager told me that the blaster coach is around. He wants to pick one goalkeeper to join Olile. So they told me, and I said, okay, if they told you that they want blaster goalkeeper, then I'm the best. That match too, I did was save penalty again, and the white man said, no, I like this boy. He said my everything is like Olile. So if Olile is not there, Steve are always there. We were four, even four. Steve Adams was part. So it was tough, and Steve Adams was dropped, and I was there. We didn't play tournament. We just went to camp, moving to different countries before we went to South Africa.
He was brought in when we badly needed a goalkeeper. And when he came there, I think the problem of goalkeeping was solved because he was a very good goalkeeper in there. So I worked with him for the season, and I think later he left for another national assignment. So he's a goalkeeper who doesn't joke with his work at all. And I'm happy to come to meet him here as a coach.
Hey, Odate! One won't say ball speed room. I don't know jump on a wunty. Now, would you know say bonds ever say? Or so would jump on a ball, let me show some ye. Eh? Next time, shall ye?
So a trip down memory lane, Stephen Aholu was being spoken about, and he is a legend of the game, and that is what today he featured in today's edition of GPL in History. It's still build up towards that big game here at the Berekum Golden City Park, where Berekum Chelsea will be taking on Accra Hearts of Oak. It's now time to head for a commercial break. When we are back, I'll be introducing my guest, and we will set the ball rolling. Welcome back to the Berekum Golden City Park Sunday special here. It's Berekum Chelsea hosting Accra Hearts of Oak, and we're still building up to that big game. One of 4 games being played concurrently in the Ghana Premier League. But then the story for match day 6 started yesterday, where at the TNA Stadium in Takwa, it was a 1-1 draw in the Western Derby between Samatex 1996 and then also Mediema Sporting Club. So Mediema playing home in that game. But then in one other game in Accra, it was Dreams FC also getting their first win of the season against Nations FC. But then I've been joined at pitchside by Michael Akomia Mizah. Good afternoon, Michael.
Good afternoon, Josiah.
And how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, but that was the game, the Western Derby between Mediema Sporting Club and then also Samatex, ending in a stalemate there. But then it was a good goal scored by Iwa Germani before that equalizer coming from Mediema later on.
I think that was an absolutely brilliant goal by Iwa Germani from that regard for Samatex. It is a frustrating result for Coach Ibrahim Tanko, but definitely for Coach Christopher Enin, he will be quite relaxed about the results that they had. I think 1 point far away in Takwa will definitely push you in your course to put yourself in a certain position where you can fight for the top 4 at the end of the day, try and compete for the league title. You look at the Samatex team and what they've gone through in recent times, you would understand that this is one particular result that will boost their confidence, will make them more competitive and push harder.
But not to heckle you, that was the first goal for Samatex, and it's already a goal for the season contender.
Definitely,
just look at that from about the center circle, and he struck that one with so much venom. But would you say that was error on the part of the Mediema goalkeeper?
I wouldn't say it's an error, but you see the intent of Iwa Germani from that particular angle to get the accuracy on that particular shot, to look at the goalkeeper right up, look down on the ball and get that particular kick, was definitely going to catch Felix Chey, not looking around to try and make sure that he saved that particular ball. But I think the pitch was a little bit wet, movement to the right-hand side. He got a little bit of trouble moving to the right-hand side. So he flipped, tried to make sure that he can do something best and get to the ball. But, let's comment what Iwa Germani did with that ball. He caught him off guard.
Interesting. So 1-1 in that game yesterday at the TNA Stadium. But then Dreams FC also getting their very first win of the season. It was a 2-0 win over Nations FC.
Yes, they'll be very happy. You can't start the league and not win a single game, looking at how we perceive Dreams FC to be. They have enough quality. They've been consistent in terms of bringing out young talent that have enough quality to compete, not only on the local scene, but even on the continental stage.
Yeah.
So when we start a league and you fail to win a single game, there is a lot of pressure on your neck to deliver. And I think they did the right job in getting a good result against Nations. But Kasim Mengel, I think there's a lot of trouble for him.
All right, so 2 out of 8 games for match week 6. It all started yesterday at the TNA Stadium, 1-1 between Mediema Sporting Club and Samatex in the Western Derby. Dreams FC getting their very first win of the season over Nations FC. But then 4 games for today, starting from the one here. I've featured a game for you, and that's Berekum Chelsea taking on Accra Hearts of Oak. But then other games across other league centers would see Berekum United at the Nanafosu Jabo host Vision FC. You have Hohoi United also returning back to the Hohoi Stadium. They'll be playing against the Diada FC. Swedroa Blacks also up against Basake Holy Stars. And those are the games for today. Huge games coming up. But quickly, Berekum United taking on Vision FC. That should be a must-win for them.
Yes, there's a lot of pressure on Berekum United too. And as I already said, they have enough quality within their setup. Kofi Tompo, Emmanuel Sefa, most of these guys, you expect them to start getting results for Berekum United as soon as possible. You don't expect to get into your new job as a head coach and start losing games, start drawing games, and you have played 6 Ghana Premier League games and you are still struggling to get a single win. I think they will need a win at all costs against a Vision FC side that got a brilliant result against Bebiani Gold Stars the other time.
All right, so we're still building up Sunday special. Berekum Chelsea taking on Accra Hearts of Oak. Samuel Bwedu facing his former side in this particular one. We're still building up to kick off. My name is Josiah. We're headed for another commercial break. We'll be right back. Super Sunday from the Berekum Golden City Park. Berekum Chelsea hosting Accra Hearts of Oak. It's Samuel Buedu facing Masoud Didi Dramani, who takes away all 3 points from this crunch fixture here. I'm still at pitchside with Michael Akomia Mezai, and we're still talking about this big game coming up in a bit. We'll also be taking a look at the lineups, but then that's the arrival of the home side, Berekum Chelsea, getting onto the turf. They've only won once here so far this season, and they'll be hoping to grab maximum points again in this game against Accra Hearts of Oak. But you feel this pressure mounted on Samuel Buedu, especially looking at the fact that they lie in the bottom half of the table. Yes,
both teams need resource, but for different reasons. For Berekum Chelsea at home, they need to have a dominant, solid display in terms of the footballing aspect. They need to start getting results as soon as possible. They were forced to reckon with, especially last season when they usually played at home. But this season, Kotoko came here, Kotoko left with 3 points, and they've won a game against Baseke Holy Stars. Against House of Folk, another big side, which I believe they will need to play at their optimal best to start getting results in the absence of some key players. Definitely, okay. Klueje is not part of this team. And it's quite a sad story. Mm-hmm. But it's also a beginning story for another player who comes into the setup, who is Fatao, that Berekum Chelsea took from Adriana Stars, and some other time we are going to share his story. That's the Phobians also making it into Berekum to handle this big game. The players look poised for this particular encounter. That's the dressing room as well. They'll be donning their away white kit with some shades of violet also in there, and that is Accra Hearts of Oak. But let's listen to what both coaches are saying. Samuel Buedu is hoping that he can break the jinx, having not won here with Berekum Chelsea against Hearts of Oak for about 7 years. Coach, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Now, you go into a very tough game against Hearts of Oak. Your last 5 here against this team, you are winless. Your last 2, you've tasted defeat. How do you approach this game?
Yeah, thank you. That was a history because that previous ones, we can't count it now. Today, it will be a different game altogether.
Thank you very much. Wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
So Samuel Buedu, there speaking about the fact that they've lost back-to-back home games against Accra Hearts of Oak. That makes it very difficult for them, knowing that they are not able to get the better of this Hearts of Oak side. Yes, the past versus the present, as I said earlier on. Coach Samuel Buedu, Coach Hearts of Oak, some time ago, and you know what he did with the team, and now at Berekum Chelsea, trying to get results against them. Time will tell if they'll be good enough to get some results. Time definitely will tell, but that's the lineup for Berekum Chelsea. It's a 4-3-3, and the number 10 will definitely be one person to look at. We'll be talking about him in a bit, but that's the lineup for Berekum Chelsea. And where's the strength of this team, Michael? I think the strength of this team will have to be in the middle of the pack, but definitely they are missing one key player. As I mentioned earlier, in Vincent Klueje. I would not be surprised if he joins FC Basel at the end of the season. Okay. But definitely Fatao came into Ghana with his mother from Ghana. Okay, it's now time to listen to Coach Masoud Didi Dramani. Let's listen to the Hearts of Oak Gaffer.
I think that we always look at the opponent and still look at what we are strong in, and then try to appreciate what the opponent is doing, and then we try to consolidate what we have.
Thank you very much for your time. Wish you all the best.
Pleasure and thanks.
Masoud Didi Dramani, he's led Hearts of Oak to 9 points so far in 5 games. They've scored twice. They are yet to concede. And obviously, the strength of this team will be the defense. Now, luckily for them, Black Stars #1, after aiding Black Stars to qualify to the World Cup next year, makes the first 11. The approach definitely tells you Hearts of Oak are in this game to at least get 1 point. 3 at the back. With 5 midfielders and then 2 attackers, meaning they will need to sit back in the lower blocks, not even necessarily lower blocks, but mid blocks, try and hit on the counter-attack through players who have pace, like Yaman Kwabefi and Hussein Adams, who can penetrate passes through the defensive lines of Berekum Chelsea. I think for Hearts of Oak, it's about being focused throughout the game. But there's a big worry. You can't play about 5 to 6 games in the Ghana Premier League and you score 2 goals. Definitely the attack will need to start giving something for how far the defense have brought the team up to this stage in the league. Because they are doing their part as the defense, the attack will also need to do their part. You've played some few games, not considered a goal yet in the Ghana Premier League. You need your attackers to start hitting the goals for you to complement whatever you are doing at your back line. Your prediction? I think first half goalless. First half goalless, but don't forget that we are powered by Dewa 539 Direct, and you need to live like a champion each day with Dewa 539 Direct. Just wind down with a win at 7 p.m. each day with numbers from 1 to 39. The odds are always stacked in your favor. Multiply your stake with 5 Ghana cedis and above by by jaw-dropping 5,000 times your stake, and then 4direct with 50,000 times your stake with direct 5 when all your numbers match the draw result. Play now and watch your mobile wallet fill up with winnings. Dial *446# or visit dewa-lla.com to win now. My name is Josiah, and Nana Dakwa will be our our commentator for today.
It's Sunday special at the Golden City Park in Berekum. It's the Ghana Premier League match day 6 between Berekum Chelsea and Accra Hearts of Oak. Berekum Chelsea have not beaten Hearts of Oak at this venue since 2018. The big question is, can they break the jinx this afternoon against the Phobians? My name is Nana Dakwa Jesse. A pleasant welcome to everybody. This is our coverage of the Ghana Premier League, proudly powered by Adisa Productions. And this game promises to be very competitive. Chelsea coming to this game from a drawn match against Karela in Tamale last weekend, and the Phobians are heading into this game after drawing goalless with Hearts of Lions on match day 5 at the Accra Sports Stadium last weekend. Berekum Chelsea sporting yellow and blue jerseys. The Phobians in white, rainbow colors to match with. They got some purple in their jerseys as well, the Phobians, this afternoon at the Golden City Park in Berekum. There's a lot at stake in this game from the coach's perspective and the players' perspective as well. Some players have got some points to prove this afternoon. So this is the Berekum Chelsea lineup. Ofori entry is imposed at right back. Mensah, Ewa, and Saidu in central defense. Abedu at left back. There's a three-man midfield of Osei, Badori, and Neri leading the attack for Berekum Chelsea this afternoon at the Golden City Park. Chelsea have Shaibu, Abdul Rahman, and Prince Anane leading a three-man attack for Samuel Boedu's Chargers this afternoon in Berekum. Not a single change from the team that drew against Karela last week, so Boedu maintains a consistent pattern with regard to his starting lineup from the last 2 games in the Premier League. Our referee for today is Dr. Imoro Osman. He's assisted on the lines by Gilbert Mensah and then George Awinzigate. Hearts of Oak have made 5 changes to the team that drew against Hearts of Lions. Benjamin Asari returns to take his place after helping the Black Stars qualify for the World Cup. Rafael Mensah obviously will operate from the left-hand side. There's Adamu coming from a long layoff through injury. The consistent one in there is Sebe in central defense. Afrani plays on the right side of that 3-man back line. Hussein returns to start for the Phobians. Amponsa, Jamina, Beifi, Isa, and Esubontin completing the lineup for the Phobians in this afternoon's game here at the Golden City Park.
This season, this is where they would really expect him to put up a show.
Didi Dramani has had cause to complain about their inability to bang in goals in this season's Premier League. Everything seems to be fine for them. Defensively, they look okay, yet to concede in this season's Premier League. In midfield, they look solid, but in the final third, that is the worrisome part for the Gaffer.
Yes, Ali, and that's football. In football, you always work with departments, and the defensive line, being led by Benjamin Asari, has been solid for them this season. 5 games without conceding any goal. That's a huge plus. But then attacking-wise, you just need to score goals. If you want to be crowned champion, you need goals to win games.
All is set for the kickoff here at the Golden City Park here in Berekum. Salzburg away to Chelsea. Goalkeeper of Orientry starts for Chelsea again, and it's Chelsea who kicks off here at the Golden City Park in Berekum. Match day 6 of the Ghana Premier League. Chelsea up against Salzburg. Here is Badori. Abedu. The Chelsea fans exchanging pleasantries in anticipation of what to come for their side. Look at them in the stands and everything seems to be pointing to the direction that they are in for an upset. But here is Salzburg. Esubonton goes down early, no foul. Salzburg throw. Esibe in a hurry to take the throw in, but referee Moro Osman whistles for Esibe to take a few steps backwards before the throw in is taken from the original spot. Esibe, Mensato, Esubonton sends in a cross, but Chelsea defending their lines really well. Dramana gives the ball away. Esibe in a bit to win it, also loses possession. Here is Abedu. Shaibu. Enoch Esubonton, he's seen a lot of the balls in this early stages in the game, but his effort goes straight to Eriko Forientry.
And that was a good cross. That's not what you'd expect from Esubonton, who has drifted to the right-hand side since this game started.
Mensah, Hussein, good ball now. Hamza is trying to thread one for Esubonton, but Forientry will step up for Chelsea.
And that's the sort of work he's been asked to do today. Play around Hamza Issa, who's playing as the arrowhead today. No Duku, who's on the bench for them. And, you know, sometimes that's what you want from your number 10, to be a bit mobile, to find spaces. And already we've seen him drip towards the right-hand side, and that was a bit central, expecting, you know, a very good pass from Hamza Issa.
Bayfi unable to get onto that one. There was so much weight on that ball for Yamanko Bayfi, enjoying his football under Masoud Didi Dramani. But there's an early injury concern for Berekum Chelsea's goalkeeper, Eric Oforientry. Oforientry have started 2 games in this season's Premier League for Chelsea, and they've not lost when it's imposed for them this season. This will be a major setback for Samuel Bodu. It's early days in the game, and the exit of Oforientry might just spoil the plans of Samuel Bodu for this afternoon's fixture.
Yeah, obviously, and I'm asking what happened to him, because the only time we saw him in action was that cross from Esubonton a couple of minutes ago, and he just grabbed that one. But I think he just didn't land well, and that caused him to perhaps just, you know, get that knock.
Kelvin Osei-Sibe was captain for Salzburg last week when Asari was on national duties. Asari takes back his armband on return to club football duties. Game still on hold because Eric Oforientry is being attended to He made only 8 appearances for Hearts of Oak during his days with the Phobians. You know, his deal to Hearts of Oak got truncated through injury. He got injured on match day 28 of the 2023-2024 Ghana Premier League against Tamale City in Tamale. And after that injury, he was never the same with the Phobians until he departed to join Berekum Chelsea. One time, Black Satellite's goalkeeper, Eric Oforienchi.
He's a top goalkeeper, top goalkeeper with so much quality, an excellent shot stopper, but unfortunately that long record of injuries hasn't really helped him throughout his career, and he's hoping that at least under Samuel Boedu he could just revive all that lost hope.
Osei Sebe has the ball down. Throw into Hearts of Oak. We've done 5 minutes at the Golden City Park. Chelsea 0, Hearts of Oak 0. Here is Seidu. Now Abedu sends a long one in. Afrani does what to trap it down for Amponsan. Here comes Hamza Isa. Tenswell goes past Ewa Mensah, brought down Imoro Osman right there. Good decision.
Yeah, and that space between the attack and midfield for Hearts of Oak has really been very tight for the Phobians, and that's why Hamza Isa is able to drop a bit deeper. He leaves his Swanton up front, and that was a lovely turn from him. Just trying to wriggle his way, through that huge challenge there.
Hearts have a free kick. Rocky Jamina shows interest alongside Ransford Mensah. Jamina will step away for Mensah. And Mensah goes over it for Jamina, something that must have been rehearsed from the training grounds. Cross comes in, nearly the opening goal for the Phobians. And Mensah's effort goes past the bar for a goal kick, but that was some beautifully rehearsed pattern of play from the Phobians, nearly resulting in the opening goal, but for the alertness of goalkeeper Oforienchi.
That was close, very close, and lovely ball there over the top of the wall by Rocky Jamna. Ransford does so well to get at the end of it, but that ball entry going down very quickly to just save that ball on the line.
Hearts of Oak have a player down. It is Rocky Jamina. Playing in that midfield for the Phobians alongside Mohamed Hussein and Rafael Amponsa.
He's a tough guy in midfield for Hearts of Oak. Tough during his days at Kotoko when he played under Abdul Ghazali, and I think it was due to his recommendation they brought him, in the ranks for them. Such a hard-working player without the ball. Just needs to improve with his vision sometimes in the third half.
Abedu's throw. Abdul Rahman tried a flick, but Afrani gets the ball away from Prince Anane.
Not really seen the best of Hearts of Oak, but for Berekum Chelsea, they've really struggled to advance the ball, especially through the midfield where Hearts of Oak have got so many players in there, in that three-man midfield.
Mensah. Kelvin Osei-Sebe. He wins himself a free kick, but he spends so much time on the ball.
And that's the confidence they play with. If you're a Hearts of Oak defender and the Didi Dramani there, you need to be a ball-playing defender. And that's what Sibe is gradually adding to his game. Fearless when in possession, and that that point, he knew that a contact was going to be made by Abdul Rahman.
Good play from Mensah, sends across, he takes a deflection. Abedu clears the ball away for Chelsea. There's a good fight for that ball from the midfielder, Shaibu. But Chelsea get nothing from his efforts. It's a throw into the Phobians on 10 minutes at the Golden City Park in Berekum. Chelsea 0, Hatsaborg 0. Hamza Issa to Esubontain. That's well to wriggle his way, but that was a foul. Referee wanted to play the advantage until Esubontain completely lost that ball.
Yeah, they're chasing shadows now, Berekum Chelsea, and it's not looking good for them. Heart of Oak are dominating the midfield area. They're advancing the ball very well. Something we didn't see in their game against Heart of Lions. Already they've created a couple of big chances, and that's a good sign for them. Perhaps play with that 3-back system, allowing their fullbacks to join the attack, has given them men forward, and that's the reason why Berekum Chelsea are not able to break free.
Rocky Jamna to take the Hazabok free kick. Jamna sends one into the Chelsea box. Mensah was lurking. Goal kick for Chelsea.
Now the best of deliveries into the box. Then Heart of Oak not really making the most out of that. Couple of touches there, but it's been good from them. At least an improvement from what we saw against Heart of Lions a couple of days ago, where they struggled so much, to even create chances in that game. Already in this game, we've seen them with some promising.
Badori Soroto. Prince Anane. Chance for Chelsea. Faisal Shaibu unable to make it count, sends it back. Kelvin Mensah. Ball crosses the line, is a goal kick, but Chelsea, the most promising move we've seen them making this afternoon's game here. Indecision costing them on that occasion.
Yeah, their first real dangerous incursion into the box of Accra Hearts of Oak, but then again, rightly said, indecision, indecisiveness just costing them not to have managed a ball or even a shot on target.
Esubontain, can he get to it? Unable to keep that one in Esubontain.
He's been the busiest at the Heart of Oak team this afternoon, and he's combining so well with the right wing back, Yamankwa Beifi, from that position, and that's one of the strengths of Esubontain. He's versatile, sometimes can play from the wide areas, can play centrally if he's asked to as well.
Here is a Juan Mensah to Kennedy Mensah. Sorotu Badori's ball in, trapped down by Amponsa. Throw into Hatsabok. Ransford Mensah. Hamza Issa desperately trying to go past his marker for that one, but Chelsea keeping it so tight at the back. It's been a cynical challenge on Shaibu by Kelvin Oseisibe, something that has drawn serious reactions from both the Chelsea bench and the fans of Berekum Chelsea. Oseisibe gets the yellow card for that rash challenge on Shaibu.
Yeah, I don't think it was about the contact. It was just the aggression with which, he contested for that duel. And that was the reason why the referee believes that he needs to go into the books. And the reaction as well wasn't really greeted with so much pleasure. Oseisibe, very, very boisterous and, a bit combative from him in that attempt to win the ball. Yeah, maybe he would have had the ball cleanly, but I think it was that aggression, just too much on it, and the power, to just head that one.
The other captain will seek for some explanations from the referee, Imoro Osman, on that yellow card to Kelvin Oseisibe. The captain is fine. Referee Osman trying to stamp his authority early days in the game. So, Osibe, from here on, might just be playing with some extra caution. Another card, and he takes an early shower. Amponsa. Seydou. Free kick for Atsabok. Again, Chelsea will contest the decision from referee Osman. They feel Esubontin was not really fouled, but hey, that's a foul.
I think he was. I think he was fouled, you know, in the build-up, because that final pass could have been dangerous for Berekum Chelsea to deal with. You know, they were in transition, they were attacking and lost the ball in a very dangerous area, and I don't think there are any objections, you know, with regards to that decision from the referee. But it's been scrappy, it's not been smooth, especially on the part of Chelsea. They've not really strung passes together. Hearts of Oak have dominated this game since its inception, but we've not really seen anything bright from them as well, barring that big save from Enchi earlier on in the game.
Hearts of Oak have 9 points. They lie fifth on the Ghana Premier League table. 2 wins. Those wins came against 11 Wonders and Dreams FC. They've drawn 3 times this season, and they've scored a paltry 2. But for Phobians, they are yet to concede a goal in this season's Premier League, showing their defensive stability in the games they've played in so far in the season's Premier League.
Yeah, it gives them, you know, a lot to ponder over. It gives them a lot to be worried about, especially, you know, for Masoud Didi Dramani, who believes they've got quality to score goals.
Rocky Jamana takes the free kick for Hearts of Oak. Swings one in for Enchi. Has fisted it away. Esebe. Mensa. Rafael Amponsa. So, Yabefi. Here is Abdul Rahman for Chelsea. Another throw-in for Chelsea. Abeidu. Prince Anane returns it to Abeidu. Abeidu swings in across. Chance for Chelsea, but referee whistles. Hearts have the advantage.
A dangerous ball, Hearts of Oak dealing with it, and that's the mark of this team. The strength lies in the defense for them. Just defend gallantly each and every time, especially when, you know, they have the presence of their captain in post for them, Benjamin Asari. He brings some assurance at the back. He brings, you know, some sense of comfort at the back for these defenders, and they never flinch whenever they're under attack or duress. They barely make mistakes at the back, and that's what they're exhibiting.
Hearts have a throw-in. Baba Adamu all the way back to the captain and leader of the side, Asari. Most likely to be on that flight to the next World Cup as Ghana's #1. He keeps his consistency at the level expected by the technical team of the national team. Iwa Mensah launches a long ball forward, and he hits it down. Hussein. Lovely skill from Hussein. Mensah. Adamu. The poor ball from Adamu now. Anane. Chelsea looking good. Here is Prince Anane. He shoots. And it's a beautiful goal. That the Chelsea fans. Wow. For once I thought he had hit the back of the net. Interesting.
I was totally misled as well.
Same for me.
That was a good hit. Good hit from Anani, the captain of the side.
It's a decent effort.
That's the inspiration. All of a sudden, every single Chelsea fan in the arena is up on their feet. And for a second, you'll be thinking that was at the back of the net. but for the reaction of Anani himself.
From my gaze, I thought it was the back of the net. And when Benjamin Asari was stunned and not looking, going in for the ball, I thought Anani had just put Chelsea ahead. No goal.
No goal. Deceitful ball there. Deceitful ball, but cleanly struck. Cleanly struck. Cleanly struck by Anani. And that's what you want. That's their best chance so far in this game. And that's what gives them the momentum again and the impetus, you know, to try a couple more. It will take a lot to beat Benjamin Asari because he had that covered.
Confirmation of the scoreline. Don't get deceived. It's Chelsea 0, Hartlepool 0. Anani got everybody on their feet. For the Chelsea fans, they thought it was in there. Same for me here. Lovely skill from Fatau Niri. Isibe. And Ponsa. That's a foul on Saidu. Free kick for Chelsea.
Yeah, and it's just one team from that right-hand side again. But this time he wins the free kick for Hartlepool.
Saidu confused about the decision of Imoro Osman.
I think it goes the way of Hartlepool.
It was an earlier infringement.
Yeah, and that's what you get, you know, when you have Hartlepool or even Kotoko traveling to town. It's always a mouth-watering clash, and you know, the excitement, even in the stands, just gives you an indication what we are in for.
Here is Adamu. Iwa keeping Hamza in check, knows him too well, trained together for over a season and knows what Hamza brings on board if he allows him the free space to operate in that final third.
Exactly, and that's where they are most dangerous, Hartlepool, but a couple of calls from the referee, and you know, each one has been meted with so much displeasure from the fans, especially when it goes against Berekum Chelsea, and that's what you expect. It makes, you know, this ground so hostile, you know, for any visiting team at all, and that's what Hartlepool are experiencing. They've been good on the ball, but we are yet to see that moment of quality from either side, at least to break the deadlock. And that was that ball again, yeah. Shot tagging there by Abdul Rahman. Good call by the referee.
Benjamin Asari has been brought to the picture. Handball against Amponsa.
Mitsubishi, we're doing better there. Give the ball away cheaply, nearly costing his side.
Rocky Jamina.
And since that chance from Anane, it looks like they are playing with, you know, a renewed energy now. Berekum Chelsea, they are pressing very, very high. They are trying to win the ball quicker.
Iwa Mensah hits the ball away only as far as Baba Adamu. Adamu to Mensah. Osei Sibe. Sibe is trying to pick out Enoch Esubontain. That's some clever defending from Mohamed Saidu.
Looks like Chelsea have taken a note of that. Whenever, you know, Hartlepool have got the ball with a defender, definitely they'll be forced to go long because every single player in midfield has a marker, and that's one thing, you know, Chelsea are forcing Hartlepool into doing. Their defenders are going long. A couple of minutes ago, it was Babadam with a long ball, couldn't find his marker, and Sibe also misplacing one.
Benjamin Abedu. Osei lays one for Anane, but Adamu comes in, gives the ball away. Abdul Rahman, that's some good defending from Hazabok. Upon Frani had to be there, right place, right time.
That was a good intervention there, Abdul Rahman, trying to have a clean strike, a goal. Benjamin on an alert, to even save that one, but Hartlepool keep playing themselves into trouble, losing the ball in that defensive third. They keep putting themselves under immense pressure.
Corner for Chelsea. Richard Osei to take the corner. "25 minutes. Chelsea nil. Hearts nil. Here comes Osei, swings one in, and Asari. You can always trust him in situations like this.
Yeah, most definitely. And we've spoken about him, and we can continue speaking about his quality all day, and that's what he brings to Hearts of Oak. And the fact that he's able to pass the ball as well.
Lovely skill from Osei. It's a good ball onto the right side. Here is Chelsea's Prince Anane up against Adamu. Now Mensah. Well defended by Esubontain. Yao Beifi has gone down and need for medical attention for the Azabok wing back Yamankwa Beifi.
Yeah, he's not seemed fine. Seems he picked up a knock, and for Hearts of Oak, you'd always have to worry looking at the injury situation within the team. Mohamed Ali out, Abdul Karim out already. Doesn't look good for them, but I'll be surprised if Beifi should continue. How he's reacting to that knock already doesn't look fine. That could even force Masoud Dili Dramani into an early change. Perhaps that could also alter the shape of this team, because the three-back has given them so much freedom up front and lots of men in midfield, and you'd be thinking, would he be forced into making a change?
The Azabok wing back is limping off. Didi Dramani might just be forced to make an early substitution for the Phobians. I've already seen those players on the bench being called up to warm up. The likes of Mauli Wayo, Martin Kakari, George Paku, Kwesi Asma, all of them warming up in the events Beifi is unable to turn up. Chelsea have not been consistent with their inroads into the Azabok territory.
And that's partly due to the fact that Hearts of Oak are defended very well, with very, very little spaces left in between the defenders. And, they are always on guard, always aware of their surroundings, despite the fact that they've given away some cheap balls. But
so Wayo comes in for the injured Yamankwa Beifi. Here is Kennedy Mensah. Now Chelsea. Richard Osei gives away possession. It's Bontain. Anani goes past Adamu. Here is the Chelsea captain. Gets into the Azabok box. Prince Anani twisting and turning. But Adamu does well to block that effort. Here is Sorotu Badori. It's been very quiet this afternoon. The Chelsea number 10. Mohamed Saidu. It's a heavy touch from Richard Osei. There was nothing a Subontin could do. An inviting tackle, and he fell for it.
It was, I'll say, it's proving to be a trickster in midfield for Chelsea. Every creative spark, every creative action in midfield has come through him so far in the game, and Mr. Montaigne had to drop a bit deeper for his side. He's very fortunate to have walked away without a card for that tackle on Richard Osei.
Free kick Chelsea. Osei swings one, but it's purposeless. Nothing productive out of it for Berekum. Chelsea. It's 30 minutes at the Golden City Park in Berekum. It's Chelsea 0, Hearts 0. The last time Chelsea won a game here against Hearts was back in April 2018. On the 8th of April, Chelsea beat Hearts 3-0 here. Ever since that day, Chelsea have not won against the Phobians. Hearts have not lost in their last 5 visits to Berekum. As a matter of fact, they've won their last 2 games here at the Golden City Park, including last season's 1-0 win here. Here is Abedu, retrieves possession cleanly for Chelsea. Faisal Shaibu gives away possession, and here comes Hamza Issa. He's up against Iwa Mensah, his former teammate. Brings it back to Jamina. Again, the game has to be halted because another player has gone down with an injury concern.
That has been the bane Accra all season. You speak about the fact that, yeah, you're drawing games, they're not winning games, but I think it's also due to the fact that most of the players are going out injured, and I just can't tell why it's happening this way. And each and every time you find a player on the you turn around and look at the face of Masoud Didi Dramani, and he looks like a worried man because they have limited numbers and option while you coming in, to replace their right wing back, and that's not even his position. He's a forward, but they would have to play with him at that position. This time is a Subonti who doesn't also look good, with that eyes to his face.
Adamu, Hussein, Mensah, looking back for Hussein, sends the cross, stopped by Soroto Badori. Here's Anane. Richard Osei. Michael Ewa Mensah. Now Mohamed Saidu, the centre back, surging forward. Badori. He's gotten it wrong this time, Badori, but Chelsea, they're also trying to tighten their back, not allowing Hazebuk to make any penetrations at this stage. Shaibu. Ofurenchi, that's what to pick out Abdul Rahman, but his control on the chest doesn't find no Chelsea player. Here comes Hussein. It's a shooting range. Hussein shoots. Ofurenchi struggles, but eventually deals with it for Chelsea.
He's playing more advanced as an inside forward, right behind Hamza Issa, and this time he gets himself in that 1v1 situation over there. He just checks onto his right foot, and that power wouldn't really trouble Entry.
He scored once already this season in that game against Dreams FC. Hussein looking to add some goals to his game this season. Osesibe. Headed down by Saidu. Hussein is trying to pick out Mauli Wayo. Wayo does well to win possession. And Chelsea keep the back very tight. It's Saidu stopping Wayo. Badori Sorotu. Here comes Neri. Throwing for Hatzabok. Fatau Neri has not really lived up to it in the opening 35 minutes of this game. He's been the quietest of the Chelsea three-man midfield. Rocky Jamina goes down right before the referee. He reaches his pocket and it's a yellow card. So, Akwesi Badori.
Yeah, they've been asking for it. Too many spaces. Hearts of Oak players running rings around, the defenders of Berekum Chelsea. It's been so difficult for them to keep up with the pace of the Hearts of Oak attackers. And this time, Rocky Jamina just knew he had wanted, that foul at that moment. He had the option to move forward. He had the option to stay on his feet, but just goes down from that challenge.
Golden City Park in Berekum. No goals between Hearts and Chelsea. Mind you, Berekum Chelsea have just 4 points in the season's Premier League. They played just 4 games. This is their 5th game. They have one more outstanding fixture against Bibiani Gold Stars. And so we'll be hoping to get maximum points here and move forward and claim that one to move top of the league. Jamina's drive into the wall. Esibe is the faster of the 2 players. Now Amponsa, flag stays down. Mauliwayo, a chance for Azovok, and he's blasted over the bar. Glorious opportunity missed by Mauliwayo. He should be scoring from that position, Mauliwayo.
It's so surprising that the scoreline still remains buried over here. That's the biggest chance of the game so far, falling to Mauliwayo. Enchi made that move. Mauliwayo's first touch was good, but the finishing and that reaction with his face buried in his hands just tells you that it was a glorious opportunity to have scored. I think the technique applied just let him down on that occasion.
Last season he scored the only goal. Chance for Chelsea, but Benjamin Asari right on time to stop any danger. So Wayo scored the only goal against Chelsea last season at this venue in the 57th minute of that fixture. He could have done himself a lot of good by hitting the back of the net to go down as scoring in consistent seasons back-to-back for Hearts of Oak at this venue.
Yeah, I thought he was caught in a dilemma at that point, sending that cross, low down for your attacker to just tap into an empty net or just strike that one. Fortunately, he couldn't just direct that one on target.
Abdul Rahman is making way for Patrick Ensu. Ensu will take the place of Abdul Rahman. Is a like for like, both of them attackers.
So question remains if Samuel Boyd was forced into making that substitution as a result of an injury, or just tactically he just needed someone to apply some pressure on the defense of Hearts of Oak.
I think it's purely tactical. It's obvious that Rahman has not put so much in this game for Boedu. And so Ensu is a homeboy playing before these fans. A certain level of pride and motivation for him. It's obvious that Abdul Rahman is not injured. He's taken off because Boedu wants to make a tactical tweak.
And for Samuel Boedu, he'd be hoping that his attackers would get the goals for them that season. They've not really scored a lot of goals in 4 games. They've managed just 3, and sometimes I just believe he believes that they could just take the game to Hearts of Oak, but you need a striker who will just hunt down these players, especially Kelvin Osesibe, who is on the yellow card. You just need to take the game to him.
Ransford Mensah. He might just have to retake the throw-in under the instructions of referee Osmani Moro. Jesse Mensah turning to ask the assistant referee what the problem is.
Yeah, obviously that retake, but for Hearts of Oak, talk about the fact that they've scored 2 in 5, but today they should have been 2 up, looking at the quality of chances they've created.
Osei applies pressure. Rafael Amponsa, it falls to Maoli Wayo again. Amponsa sends a cross in. Iwa Mensah heads it, still hanging in there. Osei Baba Adamu, Ransford Mensah. 5 more minutes before the break. Chelsea nil, Hearts nil. Osei to Hussein. Amponsa is trying to swing one onto the part of Wayo, but Abedu is already there for Chelsea. Brilliant skill from Hussein. He dinks one looking for Hamza Issa, but Oforenchi will not struggle to deal with this one.
It was beautiful, exquisite, lovely skill. But then that pass over the top of the defense by Hussein, a bit overhit there. You wouldn't fault him that much. Been so hard working in midfield for them, creative as well.
Upon Frani with a good through ball to Rocky Jamana, who lays one onto the part of Hamza. Did Iwa make contact with Hamza? Difficult to tell from the angle we've seen it. From referee Imoro's perspective, legitimate tackle from Iwa Mensah.
I think he was close enough as well to have seen what actually happened on that occasion.
Ransford Mensah's ball, chance for Hartlepool, but Iwa, she just looks around and ensures that no Hartlepool player is making the needed contact. Foul for Hartlepool. Hamza winning the free kick from that challenge of Michael Iwa Mensah. The Phobians will fancy their chances from this angle. Again, is Rocky Jamana and Rafael Mensah showing interest in this one. Rocky Jamna sends one into the box. It's base arriving, but it's a very clever clearance from Berekum Chelsea's Seidu. He didn't want to take chances. Isibe was just lurking, but he had to get his clearance away. Great interception from Faisal Shaibu. Corner kick for Hartlepool is Ransford Mensah to take. Mensah goes low to the near post, is cleared away by Mensah, the right back of Chelsea, Kennedy Mensah. Maoli Wayo will assume that responsibility and allow Ransford Mensah to move to his position. Hussein lays one for Wayo, but the flag goes up and Maoli Wayo is offside. So Wayo was returning from an offside position to pick that ball from Hussein. Sorotu Badori is having a very difficult game this afternoon, but here comes Ransford Mensah for Hearts. Lays one onto the path of Hamza Isa. He comes up against Ewa Mensah. Back to Hamza was trying to get to Ransford Mensah, but Kennedy Kofi Mensah, the Chelsea right back, had to step up. So on that flank, there's Ransford Mensah, Kennedy Mensah, and Michael Ewa Mensah. Interesting. Here is Patrick Ensu. Faisal Shaibu. Cross comes in, but Ensu was not expecting the ball at the right time. Abedu. Shaibu. Kills one in. Chance for Chelsea against the side post, but the flag is already up for offside. Offside against Berekum Chelsea's Patrick Ensu. Even if he had gone in, he wouldn't have counted. Three minutes of additional time. We're into one out of those 3 minutes. Hamza Isa. Ransford Mensah. Launches a long one in. There's a foul against Enoch Esubontin for that push on Mohamed Saidu. It's halftime here at the Golden City Park in Berekum. Berekum Chelsea 0. Hearts 0. A half where we've not seen so many goal-scoring opportunities. Mauli Wayo, obviously, with the biggest chance of the afternoon, unable to convert. Prince Anani came up with something that even took me by surprise as the opening goal, but it didn't hit the back of the net. It's half-time at the Golden City Park in Berekum. Chelsea 0. Hearts 0.
All right, so goalless after the break here at the Berekum Golden City Park. Berekum Chelsea holding Accra Hearts of Oak to a goalless stalemate. It's been an interesting game, lots of talking points, but unfortunately, nothing separating the two teams after the first 45. I'm joined here by Mr. Nkrumah. He's the assistant to Samuel Bwedu. It's been a very, very difficult game for you, but what brought about that substitution earlier on, which saw Patrick Ensu being thrown into the fray?
Yes, I think the striker is not performing well. It's not, maybe he's ill. He didn't tell us. But since we have seen that he's not performing well, we have to change him for another player to come.
Thank you very much. So that's the assistant coach of Berekum Chelsea. Now, they've been forced into an early substitution, but then it wasn't really caused by an injury. I'll soon be joined by the assistant of Accra Hearts of Oak. That's Abdul Ghazali. Coach, it's been an eventful first 45 minutes. Good chances created for you. But what do you think has been missing from this team?
I think we're still going to look at our finishing aspect. We have created, like you said, we had a chance to get at least 2 goals before the first 45, and unfortunately we didn't get it. I think individually we're not doing well, because we wanted to play the ball from the back, find ourselves in the spaces before we get into the final speed. But unfortunately, we're not able to do that. But we are getting the balls to the opponent half or to the final third of our attack. But we're not getting the chances, the finishing coming. I think it is something worrying to me, and I think we have to look at it. If we only want to pick the 3 points here, we have to get the necessary players on board. Because looking at the first half, we had the chances that we needed to score the goals. Unfortunately, it is not coming. So I think we are going into the dressing room to talk to them. We have few players that I think if we are able to bring them in and they are able to get their rhythm or what we want to do, definitely we are going to find the back of the net.
Thank you very much. So Abdul Ghazali is the assistant coach of Accra Hearts of Oak. He's spoken about the fact that they've created some decent chances. Yes, that's what the first half has been about. Hearts of Oak getting in good scoring positions. But unfortunately, the biggest chance of the half fell to Mauli Wayo, who came on for Yaman Kwabe. He also picked up a knock. And unfortunately, he blasted that over the crossbar. So a Sunday special from the Berekum Golden City Park, where it still remains goalless. First half now, pep talk up next for these coaches to try and get something to the players, so at least second half they could just get the game going. My name is Josiah Okokwe. We now head for a commercial break. When we are back, I'll be speaking to my pundit. Still Sunday special from the Berekum Golden City Park, where our featured game for today, Berekum Chelsea against Accra Hearts of Oak, ended goalless after the first half. I'm still at pitch side with Michael Akomia. Mr. Michael, quickly, your take on the first 45 of this game.
It's been an intense first 45 minutes. I think there's a lot of physicality on the field of play. Little chances. Hearts of Oak have had, yes. Berekum Chelsea have also gone close many a times. But I actually feel there's a need for control in this particular game by both sides, especially within the middle of the park. I think there are some injury situations between both camps. We saw with Yaman Kwabefi and we saw with Rahman Osman also being withdrawn by Berekum Chelsea. But I think the main issue has to do with about the technical security in that particular midfield, especially for Berekum Chelsea, Badori and Richard Osei. Then for Hearts of Oak, Rafael Amponsa. I actually feel Rafael has done even much more better than what we expect the likes of Rocky Dramina to do in terms of keeping possession. They need to keep more of the ball, try and find the spaces in behind Berekum Chelsea's high line, and they are going to get more chances.
All right, so that's currently highlights from the first half of this game. Berekum Chelsea 0, Accra Hearts of Oak 0. But we talk about chances, and we saw two big chances. One, Enchi intervening for Berekum Chelsea. The other, or the biggest one for me, had to be that Mauliwayo chance. That should have been a goal.
I think it's all about confidence in front of the goalpost. Hearts of Oak attackers are finding it hard to put the ball at the back of the net. It all has to do with confidence. And I think you need to be calm in such situations. Look at your spot, pick it up, and then shoot to that particular spot, and you get your
But
goal.
that was that one from Prince Anani as well. And
yes.
For a second, everyone was thinking
very
that was a
good
goal.
shot, very good drive. And I think it caught the defense of Hearts of Oak off guard. Definitely, they did not expect Prince Anani to shoot the ball from that particular angle. But I believe as the game grows, you expect your players to be more confident on the ball, not necessarily off the ball. It's been a lot of physical tackles here and there. They need to be very calm, try and pick enough passes because the weather is good for today. The pitch is in a good shape. You need to be very calm in possession to think enough and make sure that you pick the right passes at the right time. Not hesitant, especially in the third phases of the game, to try and pick up any pass just like that. You need to be very calm, look for your player, just lay in a through ball, and you are good to go. And your attackers need to be very calm in front of goal. And I think for Hearts of Oak, they are suffering from the same thing. The same Berekum Chelsea that we see scoring goals whenever they move out of the Golden City Park, where they scored 2-0 against Basekoli Stars today in front of goal, are really jittery. I don't know what is wrong with them, but mentally, they look really drained in front of goal to pick the right spot and shoot at the right time to get their goals. And I think it needs to be a balanced game, especially looking at their defense and their attack. Because if you are defending well, you need your attack to be very efficient and effective. Not only effective, especially when it comes to the pressing, but efficient when it comes to goal scoring. This is where you expect both teams to start doing a lot of things. But for Hearts of Oak, I think the main issue will have to do with their midfield. They are missing Abdul Karim. They are really missing the calmness Abdul Karim brings to the middle of the park. I was expecting the key battles to be between the fullbacks of Berekum Gold Stars and the wing-backs of Accra Hearts of Oak. But it did not happen like that. It's become very much compact in the middle of the park, where each other are trying to fight and tussle to get the ball in the middle of the park and create chances. But for technical security in this discussion we are making right now, both teams are really lacking it.
But you look at the three-back of Hearts of Oak, throughout the season, in their first 5 games, it was the 4-back. Now, they decide to switch to the 3-back with Yaman Kwabefi, who has been substituted due to an injury. Have you been pleased with that setup going forward for Hearts of Oak?
I think they studied Berekum Chelsea before this game, and they believed that the midfield was going to be Badori, Kulu, and Richard Osei.
Yeah.
For this season, if that particular midfield trio had been consistent in previous games, I think Berekum Chelsea would have performed better than this. Maybe another week they miss Kulu. The following week, they are missing Badori here and there. It's not been consistent. And today, they are missing Kulu and it's Fatao. So Hearts of Oak gets that, no, they are going to be very dominant in the midfield. So let's stretch the pitch by going with wing-backs, especially who are very good in 1v1 situations. If you have Amankwa Belfi and you have Ransford Mensah, these are guys that will be running up and down the wings, trying to create chances from crosses that they get. But unfortunately today, they've not been so much good in the 1v1 situations. It's been battle after battle, but this one, physically dominant battles, where there's been a lot of tackles, no success in the 1v1 situations. They are trying to get in pinpoint crosses. The first 5 minutes, you saw Amankwa Belfi putting in 1 or 2 or 3 crosses. That is the idea and the plan of Hearts of Oak going into this game. If you don't get to the first balls in the penalty box, you need to get to the second balls. That is where Inoke Subontin will need to be very effective in that particular positions, because definitely Hamza will be pulled away. Whenever he's pulled away, you expect Inoke Subontin to be picking up the second balls in crucial positions for Hearts of Oak. But he is not getting into those positions. The same is Hussein Adams. I expect him to link the midfield and attack. But now there's so much gap between Hussein Adams and the attack of Hasselfolk. He literally comes into the central zones to pick up the balls. But you don't need him in the central zones. You need him much more closer to the penalty box. One, due to his dribbling ability in tight spaces. Two, his ability to pass well. There was one particular pass with the outside foot. You saw it. And he could not locate Hamza. These are things you expect from Hussein Adams. That is why I expect him to be closer to the penalty box. The more he drops deep, the more the creativity of Hasselfolk also comes deep.
Quickly, what should change for Berekum Chelsea heading into the second half? We've seen that tactical switch. Patrick Ensu being thrown in and then Abdul Rahman out of the game. I asked the assistant coach, Emmanuel Nkrumah. He says it wasn't due to injury, but then tactically they just needed to tweak something. What does he bring to this Berekum Chelsea team?
I think for Ansu Patrick, that is not Korokos Ansu Patrick, but it's Kofi Ansu Patrick, another Kofi Patrick here. But I think the reason why they brought him is to stretch the back line of Hasselfolk. He is not your typical old-fashioned number 9 who loves to hold up play. He loves to run into channels, running behind the defensive lines. So it's an important factor for Kusamo Bodu to bring in such a player to stretch the Hasselfolk 3-back line. Baba Damu, whoever is at the back line, just drag them out, just make them mobile, let them make a lot of movement. Then you look at the likes of the number 10s and go who come in and try and occupy the spaces that will be left there just to connect these balls into the net. But I think their main issue has to do with our mentality. It looks like they are a little bit fragile. They were not ready for this game. They look a little bit jittery. They are indecisive moment where you expect them to be quite better, especially looking at the kind of players they have in their team and the experience they have. I was expecting a player like Seydou Abubakar to have replaced Rahman. But the change in identity, the change in movement up front, they want to be very mobile up front. They want to be switching positions. They want to be taking players out of their positions just to create chances.
All right, so still live coverage of our featured game, Super or Sunday special here at Berekum Golden City Park. You predicted rightly for the first half.
Yes, definitely.
Goalless stalemate. It came to pass. What are you going for the second 45?
I think one of these teams will win in the second half. This game is not ending goalless.
So you think the win will go to either team?
Maybe 1-0 or something of that sort.
To either team?
Yes.
All right, thanks so much, Michael Akomia Messiah. It's still that game between Berekum Chelsea and then also Accra Hasselfolk. First 45 ending goalless. We are zooming straight into second half action.
Hello, welcome back for second half commentary for this Matchday 6 Ghana Premier League fixture between Berekum Chelsea and Accra. The first half failed to produce any goals, with Mawuliwayo getting the biggest chance of the first half after coming in to replace the injured Yaman Kwabefi. Coach Samuel Bodu have also effected a substitution, bringing off Abdul Rahman and introducing Patrick Kofi Ensu. Back from recess, both sets of coaches would like to tweak with personnel and tactics a bit, and we're about to witness early substitution in the second half. We're just seconds away from the second half. Berekum Chelsea are hoping to break that winless streak against Hasselfolk since 2018. And the last time they beat Hasselfolk, they beat them by a handsome margin, 3-0. Confirmation of substitutions for Hasselfolk. Baba Adamu has gone off for Godwin Kujo. Didi Dramani makes the second switch of the afternoon. One was through injury, and right from the onset of the second half, he's brought on Kujo for Adamu. First foul of the second half, clash of heads between these two. Rocky Jamina and Chelsea's Saidu. Saidu is standing. That could be Shaibu. Maoliwai, I'm sure you'll be still looking back at that missed opportunity that could have handed the Phobians the opening goal.
There was a huge chance for, a player as potent and clinical as he is. He never finds himself in those, areas most of the time because he's not the one leading the attack. But, he has good runs. He makes good runs into the box. And if you just leave him, he could punish you. And on that occasion, we're thinking that, he has everything it takes to just bury the ball at the back of the net. Unfortunately, he just couldn't connect well, and just hit the back of the net. It was a big chance for him, but that earlier incident again over there, Rocky Jamna just bumping, into Prince Anani there. He seems fine now.
Abeidu, Badori. Saidu's giving away possession. Hatsabok will take over with a throw-in. It's very clear what Didi Dramani has done to his backline and the entire setup. Kujo slots in as a right back. Ransford Mensah shifts to the left back. Then Esibe will partner upon Fanny in central defense to revert to the traditional back four.
Yeah, and that's what they've played, for larger parts of this season. In their first 5 games, they went with the back four system. We've seen them try the back three in preseason. It worked perfectly for them, even throughout the top 4. But this season, they've not really had the materials because 1 or 2 players are always missing from the lineup, and that's why they always stick to the 4 back. But perhaps this could give them that impetus to move forward. At least spaces could be created forward with runs.
Hamza Isa comes up against Ewa Mensah. It's a clean challenge from Ewa. Hamza wanted the referee's sympathy, had none of that. Osei Sibe. Now Mensah. Hussein.
It seems they've doubled up their efforts now, Berekum Chelsea. There's pressure, whenever they play at home, right in front of these fans, and that's why that earlier change was made, throwing on Ansu Patrick for Rahman Abdul, just trying to go for the goal.
Mensah's throw. Where is Fatao? Gives away possession. Ewa Mensah. There's pressure on him, but referee whistles for Chelsea's Michael Ewa Mensah.
He's furious at the referee, for not blowing that whistle a bit more faster over the back. He just over-elaborated on that occasion. You're playing as a defender. With these balls, you just need to go with safety first. And unfortunately, he just tried to stay on that ball for a second too long. And that's why he can feel the impact of that, collision.
He made only 14 appearances in last season's Premier League for Hearts of Oak. He scored 2 goals for the Phobians during his days there, Ewa Mensah. Just a season and he's playing against them. And It's fair to say he's been decent at the back for Chelsea, Michael Iwamensa. But here comes Berekum Chelsea. Abedu with a cross. Patrick Ensu brings it back for Shaibu. Now here is Abedu. Cross comes in. Goalkeeper Benjamin Asare. It was as if he was waiting for that ball to just fall in front of him, Asare.
Yeah, but that's what you get when, you don't apply any force on the ball, and that ball wasn't intended to even hit the back of the net. It was just a cross downwards a bit, trying to find number 9, who is lurking to just tap into an empty net. And for Chelsea, that has been their story throughout the game. They've not really been decisive, especially in the penalty box. They've had limited touches in the Hearts of Oak's penalty area, but then nothing to show for it. No quality at all.
Rafael Amponsan has given away possession. Here comes Badori Soroto. Kennedy Mensah. That ball went in too early, but Prince Anane will step up for Chelsea. He's won a corner for the Bribis.
That's good recovery by Mensah, who is not known to be the paciest of left-backs, but did well on that occasion to close in on Anane before he could just turn and cause havoc.
Anane to take the corner for Chelsea. Anane swings one to the near post, is flicked on by Shai, but nobody there for Chelsea. It's cleared away by Mauli Wayo. Here is Michael Abedu. Fatau. Abedu. Shaibu. Michael Iwamensa. Now, Kwesi Soroto, an audacious one from him. Not too sure whether he intended to score or was trying to get one for his men in the Azabok box.
It was a terrible ball from Soroto from that area. He had space in front of him. I've just, had a couple of touches, tried to close in a bit before delivering that into the box. And for Chelsea, the frustration just begins to grow for them.
Hussein, long one looking for Mauli Wayo. Rafael Amponsan is giving away cheap passes in the second half. Prince Anane. Over elaboration on the part of Kennedy Mensah, resulting in the ball getting back to goalkeeper for re-entry.
So the introduction of Patrick Ensu injected some mobility in the game, but they are not running, they are not making the runs this time round in the second half. We've not seen the attackers of Berekum Chelsea, moving to the channels, and that's also because we've not seen quality balls hitting to the channels for them to attack.
It's promising from Chelsea. Here is Prince Anane, the Chelsea captain, looking for space to shoot. Sets up Fatao, but great sense of awareness from Hussein. Right place, right time.
Yeah, and once you waste a second or two on that ball, you have someone closing in on you, and that was good job by Hussein to just nick that one off the foot of the attacker and just clear that one.
Another lovely ball to Kennedy. Kofi Mensah wasted so much time before attempting that delivery, but in the end, Chelsea have a corner.
And that's one thing they do so well, Hearts of Oak. They know how to press so high without the ball. They waste no time at all. And you could see how they are getting closer and closer to the Berekum Chelsea players anytime they have the ball in a dangerous area.
Another Chelsea corner. Anani swings one. Good clearance from Osei Sibe. He had to be there for the Phobians after the goalkeeper, Asari, had missed that was a timely clearance from Kelvin Osei-Sibe.
It was a timely clearance, but credit to the goalkeeper as well. He had his hand to that, at least, just to deflect that one. A good thinking, good awareness by Osei-Sibe to clear that one for them. And they are turning the heat now on Hearts of Oak.
Amponsa Hussein goes past Badori with cheeky ease. Here comes Hussein. He's got the legs to go forward, but it's a decent tackle from Kwesi Badori.
That was a hard tackle. You know, after losing his marker, he just tried as much as he can to stay with him throughout and did so well, you know, to apply the right force there.
There was an appeal for a handball against Esubontin, referee. Not too sure about whether he saw it or not, but clearly Esubontin had handled that ball in the process.
Yeah, it's getting feisty, and you know the referee is just trying his best just to allow play to continue, not to, you know, break the game at certain intervals. It gets boring, and we are enjoying the energy from both teams, but then sometimes, you know, it is discretion, and you decide just not to go for that one.
Amponsa, good ball to Hussein. Tries to pick out Esubontin. He comes up against Ewa Mensah. He goes wide. Cross goes in. Chance for Hearts of Oak. That's a brilliant save from Oforenchi. He didn't look like making contact with that one, but
I think that was the offside call. The flag goes up.
So he had a hand onto it, but the flag was already up. So
the flag was up, but you could see two players lurking around, you know, at the back of the defense of Berekum Chelsea there. The linesman was just right there, you know, in line to have spotted that. But it was a good move there out of the ball. And anytime they go through Mohamed Hussein, it gets better for them because he's sending promising balls, you know, into spaces for them to just take on.
Kennedy Mensah. Kwesi Badori. Asare, easy.
That was an easy catch, a fair catch for him, and both teams are now trying to win it now, and now it gives you an indication what the pep talk was about, as both coaches have tweaked tactics now, and it looks like a win could be on the cards for either side.
Amponsa for Hearts of Oak. Fatah Oneri takes it up. Shaibu wins the free kick for Chelsea. Here is Shaibu. Hussein takes it. As Hamza Isa is 2-on-2. Chance for Hearts of Oak. Here is Hussein. Awful from Hussein. Per his own standards. And Abedu equally messes up and gives Hearts of Oak a corner.
For a second, that was terrible, but then awkward from a creative player. You know, as Hussein, he had space, he had numbers. Esubontin was calling for it, you know, while he was making a run into the box, but just decided to dink that one to no one in particular.
Double substitution. Kwesi Asma, George Paku will come in for Enoch Esubontin, and then Rocky Jamana. Didi Dramani wants to try other things as we close in on 60 minutes.
Yeah, they are finding spaces in the defense of Berekum Chelsea. They are probing. It's been promising in the last couple of minutes, and you need creativity, and that's what the two players bring on board, George Paku and then also Kwesi Asma. They could add some bite up front for them. No, decision-making hasn't really gone their way, but with these two players, it increases your chances, you know, of getting some chances created, and then also a possibility of even scoring a goal.
Hearts of a corner, and George Paku, right away from the bench, gets involved in the action. His first involvement. He wants to take the corner for Hearts of Oak. Hearts corner. George Parker swings one. Hatzavok coming close with that glancing header. But it won't hand them the opening goal.
It flashes across the face of goal. You could see the Chelsea defenders, including the goalkeeper, just watching that. But it was a good ball, good in swing and delivery, and Hamza does well to peel away from a couple of defenders there, just to make contact with that ball.
Here is Wayo. Badori. Now Ransford Mensah. Mensah, no player is applying the pressure on Iwa Mensah. He calmly gets the ball, but it's Hatzavok who win possession. Here is Mauli Wayo for Hearts. Asma, Hamza. Chance for Hearts. Good stop from Oforienchi. Point blank save. Now Mensah's cross in. Abedu does well to clear the ball, but only as far as Kujo.
It's a glaring chance, big chance. Mauli Wayo tries to just touch that one onto the path of Hamza. And what about that for a save from Eric Oforienchi?
He's virtually kept Chelsea in the game. Oforienchi, his quality has never been in doubt. 2 games for Chelsea, yet to taste defeat. They might be relying on him for a greater spell of the season, especially with the familiarity between himself and Samuel Boedu.
And it's not just about that, but the assurance. But that was cynical, very cynical from Kennedy Kofi Mensah.
George Paku at the receiving end.
It should have been a yellow card.
Strong lad, up on his feet already and good to go.
Talking about Eric Oforienchi, and that was a top save, a big one to just keep his side in the game.
Kujo. Esibe. Upon Frane. That effort coming from Azavok's Paku. Nearly troubled Oforienchi. Pushed it out for a corner.
Yeah, that was a good hit from distance, about 35 yards out from Asma. Quite difficult because it took a bubble off the turf.
Josh Paku to take the corner for Azavok. And Paku swings one in. Oforienchi nearly conceding, and that's the opening goal. Hamza Issa has put the Phobians ahead at the Golden City Park in Berekum. It's Chelsea 0, Hearts 1. Oforienchi desperately tried to keep the ball away, but he just couldn't stop Hamza Issa. His first goal of the season is Chelsea 0, Hearts 1 at the Golden City Park. Is it going to be a repetition of last season's victory, or Chelsea will come back into the game?
It's been coming. Another quite it's been coming for the Phobians. They've probed, they've asked questions, they've hit the shots, they've been direct, and this time round it was the brilliance of George Paku. That force of Oforienchi into not being able to clear that one. It was a teasing cross, it was a teasing corner, and Hamza just like any striker, what you'd expect from your striker, to be on alert, to hit that one into the back of the net. And for the Chelsea defense, they just stood watching, no one dealing with that loose ball, and they were punished for it.
Instinctive reaction from the goal-getter. Hamza Issa finally opened a scoring account for the Phobians this time. Look at where he was standing, lurking and watching in between 3 Chelsea defenders. He just couldn't miss from that angle. Chelsea down by 1 against Hearts of Oak.
And that's how lethal he is. He's very lethal. Just don't give him space, he'll punish you. And he's been searching for his first goal of the season, and it hasn't come better than this time.
Ensu brought down by Osei-Sibe. He needs to be careful. Already on a yellow card, Kelvin Osei-Sibe. He took this one for the team, I guess.
He had to, but the referee has been lenient as well. You know, when referee could take action because there's pressure coming from the Berekum Chelsea players. They are asking for a card. They are asking, you know, for a caution, which could probably send him off.
Free kick for Chelsea. Prince Anane to take the free kick for Chelsea. He kills one into the box, cleared away by Asma. Ofori Enchi will get out of his area. And he only came out to play to safety, but I think it's a very weird decision by Ofori Enchi.
Yeah, he could have done better, hit that one in field. They were in attacking mode, and he just killed off any fire at all, the momentum of the team attacking.
Hamza flicks the ball down. Another chance for Hearts of Oak. This time Chelsea will get it away through Mensah. Free kick for Chelsea.
They've looked terrible in defense, Chelsea, in the second half. They've allowed Hearts of Oak so many touches in their own penalty box, and it's not looked good for them.
Kennedy Mensah. Fatau gives away possession. Amponsan is looking for the movement of Hamza, but Ofori Enchi clever enough to get out of his area. That's intelligent goalkeeping.
Brilliant, brilliant to have swept that ball. It was danger lurking again, and Hamza was on attacking mode, you know, just to have gotten something on it.
Badori. Here is Abeidu. So, Kwesi Badori Sorotu. Esibes head our way. Here is Abeidu. Mauli Wayo is interested and he wins possession for Hearts of Oak. Sends one looking for Hamza. It's Hamza against the wall. Hamza with a drive! Nearly found the second goal for the Phobians. Hamza on fire.
He is on fire. He's unstoppable now, and nothing at all can just, you know, stop him when he's in his groove. And that was a lovely first start with his chest. Puts that one down and hits that one on the half volley. It was just precision missing, but now they are allowing the Hearts of Oak to exploit the spaces. They are chasing the game. They want the equalizer, and pressure is mounting on the team.
Fatau. Abeidu. Poor control from the hard-working right back. Just unable to make the needed contact to get to feed those guys lurking in the Hearts of Oak area, waiting for those passes.
Yeah, you're committing moment forward. And, you know, you need to find them with the right pass. You need to be hitting accurate passes to these players who find themselves in you know, open spaces. And that's not what Chelsea are doing now. They're making it even more difficult for themselves whenever they transition, it looks like Hearts of Oak counter-pressing them, winning the ball and hitting them on the break.
Chelsea coming up with 2 substitutions. Edwin Osei-Kuffour and Emmanuel Sarpong go in for Berekum Chelsea. Richard Osei is off. They've also introduced in Augustine Japan, who takes the place of Fatau Shaibu.
We've seen 2 substitutes combined, you know, since coming on. Parku's delivery was sumptuous and led to that opening goal for Hearts of Oak. Asma has been so great in midfield so far since coming on. That's what you need now, fresh limbs, you know, renewed energy. You need someone to complement the effort of these players on the pitch for the last 70 minutes, and that's what the coach is doing now.
70 minutes at the Golden City Park. Chelsea 0, Hearts of Oak 1.
It's been a tough game.
So confirmation of those substitutions. Osei out for Kennedy Mensah. Osei and Kennedy Mensah out for Emmanuel Sarpong and Augustine Japan.
And that's reinforcement, fresh limbs. But then also the intention is clear. We need more energy in midfield. We are losing too many second balls.
Iwa Mensah going hard on Hamza Issa. Amponsa. Wayo, good play from Mauli Wayo, shows great desire. Here comes Asma. He drives one into the side net. Goal kick.
How did that not score for Asma? And we talk about spaces, you know, for Accra Hearts of Oak, and there you have it again. Anytime they move forward, they find themselves in an attacking position in a promising area, and this time it was Asma who just couldn't direct that one on target again.
Emmanuel Sarpong. He nearly joined Hearts of Oak before the start of the season until Ouattara lost his job. Here is Hussein. Decided to go wide, and the ball agonizingly drifts away for a goal kick.
And too many chances going their way now. And, you know, that's where you'd be thinking you need to find the second goal, because it's easier to score a second than to concede. Looking at the attitude from the Chelsea players, it's not been so good. Some of where would he enjoy this one from the touchline, because they are giving away too many cheap balls, and Hearts of Oak are just hitting them with shots all over.
Emmanuel Sarpong, Fatau. Here is Edwin Kuffour, the former captain of Ghana's under-20 side. He was actually part of the Desmond Ofer team that conquered Africa in the All-African Games. Emmanuel Sarpong brings in so much energy and urgency in the Chelsea attack. It was very obvious he was joining Hearts of Oak until Didi stepped in to replace Abubakar Ouattara. Amponsato Hussein can't get to Paco. Here is Sorotu Badori. I tell you what, he's been a pale shadow of himself today. But Augustine Japan will launch forward. He's trying to pick out Prince. Osei, no. Clean tackle, according to the referee from Mensah.
Yeah, that was a clean tackle, and they're just making it so easy for Hearts of Oak at this point. It looks likely that the Phobians would rather grab a second than the equalizer coming the way of Chelsea. And the terrible balls they are hitting into the attacking third.
Upon Franny, under pressure from Patrick Ensu, concedes a throw-in. Japan brings it down for Anane. He gets it back. Here is Augustine Japan. Good play from the right back, but that final effort to get a cross in didn't happen for Augustine Japan.
Yes, Ali, and they are not taking their decisions earlier. Their actions having a second or half of a second slower than expected, and that's why Hearts of Oak are trying to block every available cross, every available ball from Berekum Chelsea. I don't know, but collectively they've been slow to react to danger issues, and it's really affected them.
Two seasons ago, Hasselhoff left the Golden City Park as 3-0 winners over Berekum Chelsea. In that game, Hamza Issa scored, and he scored again this season. The other goals came from Linda Mtange and then Cisse Kasim. Linda and Kasim have since left the club, and Hamza has done what he did 2 seasons ago at this venue. Here is Badori Sorotu. Mensah hits it back for a throw. Substitution time as Chelsea brings on another striker, Abubakar Saidu, and takes off Fatau Niri. Fatau's presence in the midfield was truly felt, but didn't produce any positives for Chelsea in terms of attacking the Phobian area.
Not at all. Today, he's really been missing in action for a long time, and they've allowed the likes of Hussein Mohamed and then also Rafael Amponsa to dominate, the midfield area, and that's where Hearts of Oak have been, the stronger side, and that has also helped them going forward. And look at that. His first real action, Abubakar Saidu, was to foul Rafael Amponsa. And, you don't begrudge Hearts of Oak fans who say he's been a renewed player. He looks like a new player in the setup, playing so well since Didi came in. Talking about Rafael Amponsa, what a player he's been for them today.
Asari is trying an assist for Hamza, but Oforienchi knows the trick. He's out for the ball already. Ananis header, returned by Esibe. Hussein is stopped by Badori Sorotu, gradually coming into the game. The 17-year-old who turns 18 on the 1st of January next year. He's already attracting interest from FC Basel in the Swiss League. Kwesi Sorotu Badori. In the meantime, it's a free kick for Chelsea.
And they're being sloppy, Hearts of Oak. They should be careful. Any mistake here could be costly. We are down the stretch, just 15 minutes to go, and losing concentration could be very, very easy. Once you lower your guard, you could be punished for it. But, the balls are not going to him anymore. Talking about Prince Anani, the captain of the side.
Chelsea have a free kick. It's Augustine Japan to take. Augustine Japan swings one and is headed down. Here is Kwesi Badori on his left foot. It took a deflection and Chelsea have a corner.
Yeah, and all Benjamin Asari could do was to just watch that one sail wide. Just look at that. Good header away from Amponsa. Just good first touch. A couple of touches. He hits that one then. Yeah, that was the right call.
Sorotu Badori, on an afternoon where he's been average, he's even showing glimpses of his quality. Corner for Chelsea. Anani swings one to the far post. Asari makes contact. Abedu tries to get one in again. It is Kelvin Osesibe who tied this up for the Phobians acrobatically. Chelsea still pushing. Hearts of Oak desperately trying to prevent the corner, but it is a corner for Chelsea.
Yeah, it is a corner, but then that effort being blocked, Kelvin Osesibe putting his life literally on the line for Accra Hearts of Oak. Mauli Wayo completing it for them, and this time Chelsea would have to make something happen. They are creating chances now.
Another Chelsea corner. Anani's corner in, headed down by Opon Afrane. He wants another corner.
Yeah, they've not made the most out of the glare. Once he takes the corner, it obstructs them. The direction of the sun has really been obstructive. They are not making good use of it.
Swings one again, Asare up to the task. Third successive corner in the last 1 minute.
Because the defenders are struggling now, to sight the ball, and it's becoming a problem for them. And just look at that. You could see trying to shield their faces for this one.
Corner Chelsea. Prince Anani to take.
Some tussling there.
Referee Osman Imoro needs to stamp his authority. Benjamin Asari is unhappy about something. He's made his complaints. at the moment, there's some calm in that 18-yard box. Anane will get ready to deliver. Anane swings one this time, is low and goes down. Edwin Kufuor loses possession. Here is Amponsa. Did Oforenchi handle the ball? Yes, he did. Referee has reached his pocket.
That's dangerous.
And Oforenchi is in trouble.
That's dangerous.
Let's see what decision Dr. Imoro Osman takes.
I think that could be a sending off.
He's a lucky guy. He gets a yellow card.
But that was the incident again. Rafael Amponsa rides there to hit that one. And that's the danger with trying to throw more men forward in search of the equalizer. But he reaches to his back pocket, rather. I don't think that's a caution. I don't think that's a caution.
Oforenchi has been taken off. Because the referee reached his back pocket, and it was obvious the back pocket had the red card. So when Oforenchi was still on the pitch, the assumption was it was a yellow, but Dr. Moro Osman had already flashed the red card to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was. If you had paid attention to his reaction, you'd be thinking it was going to be a caution, because he just ran to his goalpost and picked up his towel and then his water bottle. But I think we know the rules. These are basic rules. Handling the ball outside, or intentionally handling the ball outside your 18-yard box. And that is definitely going to be a sending off, and it's been confirmed.
It was total surprise when he still stayed on the pitch, when you're tempted to think the referee pardoned him, but you can't bend the rules in the name of pardoning a player who has committed a blatant foul.
Not at all, but the impact you could see on Rafael Amponsa. For a second, he was just going for his effect. You know, the towel and then also his water bottle, and now confirmed that could be his last action in this game.
Oforenchi, in his bid to protect his goal, gets sent off. First red card as Berekum Chelsea goalkeeper Eric Oforenchi.
He was trying to play hero there, and sometimes it just doesn't go well.
So guess what? Chelsea's Michael Ewa-Mensah will step in and be the goalkeeper for Chelsea in the last 8 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and I think most fans will be counting the number of saves he makes, you know, after moving in to replace his goalkeeper. But I think that there's some...
He can still be... Can he be in the apparel used by Entry
no, he has
for
to.
the game?
He has to. He has to, at least. That could differentiate who the goalkeeper is, and then also the outfield players.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he has to. I don't know what's happening currently, but he's been asked to take it off. He's in the gloves, but then not a kit.
So why has Oforenchi returned to the pitch?
I don't know. He came back for his kit, though, but I don't think he's still going to play because he's been red carded.
I don't think so as
yes,
well.
So they just need to find their new goalkeeper a new kit, at least just to differentiate him from the outfield players, because Mensah will be in post for them.
Drama at the Golden City Park as Asabog lead Chelsea by a lone goal. Chelsea's goalkeeper has been red carded. A player needs to go and take his place, but as we speak, there's got to be a change in the kits.
I believe they are finding him a new kit, a new goalkeeper's kit for him to wear without the number. And that's what they are doing now. So that's a kit.
Michael Ewa-Mensah, the central defender, about to be turned into a goalkeeper following the red card to Enrico Oforenchi.
It's not the first time it's happening in football. We've seen this a couple of times, you know, happening.
Martin Kakari will come in for Hatzabok. He's going to take the place of the goal scorer, Hamza Issa. That was an instinctive reaction to finish for the opening goal. That might just be the goal to hand the Phobians maximum points with their numerical disadvantage in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, he has a penchant for scoring, match-winning goals, and at that point, that's the incident again. And just look at that, Amponsa trying to just lob that one over the unrushing Inchi. Inchi knew clearly what he was doing there.
And at this point, it's not a matter of whether it was deliberate or not. He did handle the ball outside of his area, preventing the other striker from making inroads.
And that was quite instinctive as well. He knew that, a second goal would really dampen the spirit of this team. Perhaps he tried taking one, knowing the rules very well, and, he's just been punished for it. But for Iwa, there's still a lot for him to do in this game, because Hartlepool will try to get a second and even a third. There's a time for them to get more goals. They've not really scored a lot this season, and that has been worrying for their head coach. Just 3 in 6 so far, and they would want to take this opportunity to score more goals. At least that could help them going forward.
85 minutes, Chelsea 0, Hatzabok 1 at the Golden City Park. The status quo continues for the Phobians.
Yeah, for Chelsea, it would be disastrous losing to Kumasi Asante Kotoko on match day 1 on this same venue, then losing to Hatzabok, 5 match weeks later. Wouldn't be what they would have expected as far as the big games are concerned this season.
Well, interesting results across the other league centres. Berekum United are up by 2-0 against Vision FC. Ediana's lead in Hohoi United 1-0 in Hohoi. And Swedro All Blacks are 2-0 up. Holy Stars have a red card, and All Blacks are just 3 minutes away from victory. It's 90 minutes in Berekum, and United lead Vision by 2-0 here at the Golden City Park in Berekum. Hamza Issa's goal separating Chelsea from Hatzabok.
Again, he's been asked to wear a bib. I don't know why though, but he just had to wear that jersey as it's a goalkeeper's jersey for the remainder of the game. I don't know why he's been asked to wear a bib again.
We're into the final 3 minutes of this game here at the Golden City Park in Berekum. Asma. Here is George Paco. Kofi Asma. Kwesi Asma's effort. So, the new goalkeeper's first involvement.
Yeah, that sense of jeers and applause from the stands though, but it's quite unusual to see him playing in that position, but they'll need to protect him a lot throughout the game.
They have to. Kennedy, here comes Augustine Japan. Anane is stopped. Now Maoli Wayo on his bike, trying to pick out Amponsa. Chelsea defend their lines well. Here is Anane. Osei Kufuor. Ransford Mensah. Kelvin Osei Sibe. Gordon Kujo. Unable to reach Martin Kakari. Maoli Wayo. It's a long ball looking for Kakari. Lovely control. Kakari. And it's a good save from the makeshift goalkeeper, Ewa Mensah. Great chance for Kakari. But the player 10 goalkeeper had to save the situation. Japan is stopped. Free kick for Chelsea. 89 minutes. And there's a feeling in the stadium indicating they can get the equalizer. Chelsea have a free kick. Berekum Chelsea will clear the outstanding game against Gold Stars on Wednesday. But look at that run from a Japan. Sandwiched in between 4 Hazard players. And Chelsea with an opportunity to get that equalizer. They only need the right execution. Manuel Sapon to Prince Anane. Plan gone wrong. It didn't go on as planned between Sapon and Anane. Hatzabok will play BBN Gold Stars next weekend on match day 7 at the Accra Sports Stadium. For Chelsea, there's early business to do on Wednesday when they play Gold Stars. But guess what? 7 additional minutes because of that drama that unfolded when Oforenchi was shown the red card and Ewa had to step in as the goalkeeper. And Ponsa on the left foot, and it goes out for a goal kick. Here is Anane. Badori goes down and Chelsea gets the free kick. Ewa Mensah sends one in, headed down by Esibe. Here is Martin Kakari for Hartsabok. They're up and still chasing the second goal. Here is Amponsa to Mauli Wayo. Sets up Hussein. He bends one in and it goes straight to Ewa Mensah. The fans are enjoying every bit of the action, especially when Ewa Mensah gets involved in the action. But Hussein should be doing better with this one, but it doesn't take anything away from the alertness of the goalkeeper. Here's Kakari for Hartsabok. Now Hussein, George Paco. Ball falls to Ewa Mensah, who delivers one for Chelsea. Abubakari. He's given away possession, but Oseko for Chelsea. Here is Augustine Japan. Stopped by Mensah and Wayo. Tidies up for the Phobians. Here is Ransford Mensah. George Paco. It's a lovely ball to Mensah. Paco. Kwesi Asma. Switches to the right side. Here is Gordon Kujo. Kujo sends a cross. Blocked by Abedu. Corner for Hartsabok. Hartsabok have a man down. And he's been taken off. Hatzavok. Corner taken. Mensah's header. And Hatzavok have the second goal. Mauliwayo doubles the Phobians' lead. And he's broken the hearts of the Chelsea fans here at the Golden City Park. It's done and dusted. Mauliwayo gets his name on the score sheet after some poor defending from Berekum Chelsea. It's Chelsea 0, Hatzavok 2. Boadu obviously disappointed. Same for Ewa Mensah. He's stuck on the pitch. He just can't get off. Mauliwayo scored the only goal last season. The header from Ransford Mensah was not dealt with well. He tried to save the situation, Mensah, but it gladly fell to Wayo, who made no mistake on his left foot. He makes it 2-0 for Hatzavok. He scored the only goal last season here, and he scored again. Chelsea 0, has 2. We're into the final seconds of stoppage time. Hatzavok continue where they left off last season at this venue. And Asare is enjoying the moment. That's why the fans love him. He's got an extra spice to add to the game. And that's what he was exhibiting. Osei could force clearance. All eyes on referee Osman to bring proceedings to an end. Abeidu. Patrick Ensu. Final touch from Gordon. Cujo for a Chelsea throw. Badori Sorotu. Abeidu. Chance for Chelsea, nope. Just can't pull anything off. That's the final whistle. Hatzavok have beaten Berekum Chelsea once again at the Golden City Park. Their third victory over Chelsea at this venue in the last 3 seasons. The last 3 seasons, Chelsea have not won against Hatzavok. 3-0 2 seasons ago, 1-0 last season, and 2-0 this season. Thanks to goals from Hamza Issa and Mauliwayo for Berekum Chelsea. Heartbreak at the Golden City Park, lost to Asante Kotoko, and they've lost to Hatzavok at this venue. It doesn't look good for Berekum Chelsea. After 5 matches in the Ghana Premier League, they now have to shift their focus onto that game against Bibiani Gold Stars in that outstanding fixture. For Hatzavok, they return to winning ways after drawing against Hearts of Lions last weekend. It's full time at the Berekum Golden City Park in Berekum. It's Berekum Chelsea 0, Hatzavok 2.
All right, so what a story to tell for the Phobians. After 90 minutes here at the Berekum Golden City Park, Heart of Oak are walking back to Accra with maximum points and 2 goals. Berekum Chelsea losing at home for the 3rd successive time to Accra, Hearts of Oak. Sunday special from the Berekum Golden City Park. My name is Josiah Kokwe, and I've been joined at pitch side by the head coach of Accra Hearts of Oak, Masoud Didi Dramani, who seemed like a happy man, but a bit stoic, even though his side will be going back with 3 points. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
It was a tough game for you, but then you are walking away with 3 points.
Every game is very tough because all the teams are in the Premiership, and so you can expect that it's an early season fixtures, and then every team is still very, very strong, and then every team tries to consolidate what they have.
But coach, looking at that tactical tweak, after taking off Adamu, bringing on a natural right back, changing to the 4-back system, how good was that tweak from you?
Unfortunately, he's not a natural right back. It's an alterated one, and then it was just to solidify our back line and also to give us that stability in order to still build up from the back and find the necessary pocket spaces where we can be very, very decisive and then positive.
For the first time this season, you've scored 2 goals. How pleased are you with the attack? Because 2 of the players that scored for you are attackers.
I think that there's still more to improve. I have always said it. We have to remain consistent, and we have to remain very, very sustainable. We're still early days yet. We still have a lot to improve as individual players and also as a team. But I think that we are on the right path.
Thank you very much, Masoud Didi Dramani, and congratulations to you. You are walking back with 3 points. So Hearts of Oak grabbed their second win in 3 games this season, and this time it came in Berekum. Coach, commiserations. But how tough of a game was it for you and your guys?
Yeah, it was really bad. As you can see, during the first half, we created a lot of chances, we squandered all the chances. During the second half, it's quite unfortunate the corner kicks that hit the bar and then entered the pole again. And the worst thing about the red card that we got, our goalkeeper, during that time, we have made all the changes so that there's nothing that we can do.
That's so unfortunate. But what's going to change now? Your goalkeeper is not there. Is it going to alter your, formation system heading into the next game?
Yeah, definitely. We have keepers over there, but this one is going to affect. It affected us during this particular match. But when you go back, we know what to do so that we can organize another set of goalkeepers so that they can replace him.
Thank you very much, Sabobwedu. And that's the former Hearts of Oak coach losing for the 3rd straight time here to his former side, the side he led to league victory the last couple of years, about 2020, 2021 season. I've now been joined by the best player, Badari. Badari, congratulations, you've been adjudged the best player.
Thank you.
But
thank you.
How come? What happened? It wasn't the finest game for your side today.
Yeah. Everyone can see we didn't do well today. We are playing, we should have won this game. Yeah.
And what are you changing now?
Our coach will do all.
Thank you very much. So that's the man of the match, Badari. He is the number 10 for Berekum Chelsea, and he's been adjudged man of the match after his side lost 2-0 to Accra Hearts of Oak. But for Accra Hearts of Oak, they will be pleased with that performance. Lots of drama in this game, especially down the stretch after Eric Entry was shown the red card for Berekum Chelsea. They were reduced to 10 men, but then they fought, half them puffed. Unfortunately, they couldn't find the win as Hearts of Oak took the second goal through Mauli Wayo to win this game by 2-0. My name is Josiah Kokwe, and Matchday 6 continues tomorrow at the Dance Park in Bibiani, where Gold Stars will be hosting Bando Heart of Lions. Thanks so much for making time. Bye for now.